Selling your home is a really big deal. It's exciting because you're moving to a new place, emotional, and of course, you want top dollar. You also want it sold quickly, and you want to know you're hiring the right agent, the right person to help you get there. But here's the thing. The oldest trick in the book, when you're interviewing agents, they tell you, oh, I can sell your home for a pie-in-the-sky price, and then they give you a list price that's way higher than anyone else has, or that the comps will support. Sounds amazing, right? The problem is that number isn't always based on reality, and it's easy to fall for this. Here's how it usually goes. You're interviewing a couple of people, and an agent comes in throwing out a big shiny price, and it feels great to hear. I mean, who doesn't want to believe their home is worth way more than anybody else's? But if that number isn't backed by actual data, and that is all they have to impress you with, you could be in big trouble down the line. Once you've signed that listing agreement, you're locked in. It's a legally binding contract. So let's talk about that pie-in-the-sky price that they promised you and what can happen. What happens is your home sits because other agents aren't showing it and buyers aren't looking at it. They're passing it by. It starts to feel stale in the eyes of the buyers after a while. Buyers begin to wonder what's wrong with it, and agents perceive you to be an unrealistic seller who may be difficult to work with. The agent you listed it with starts blaming the market and telling you to reduce your price. Now you are essentially chasing the market, and if home sales are declining in your area, so is your value. The longer it lingers, the less leverage you have as a seller. Here's the deal. Pricing a listing isn't magic. It isn't about throwing out the highest number to glamour the homeowner. It's about facts. You need to know what are comparable homes actually selling for in your neighborhood. How does your home's condition measure up? What's going on with the inventory and demand right now? Without those answers, any price is just a guess. When you list too high, a few things can happen. You miss that crucial first wave of buyers when interest is highest within the first couple of weeks. You end up chasing the market down with price cuts, and oftentimes you'll net a lot less than if you had priced it correctly from the start. Think of it like fishing. If you throw your line out where there are no fish, you're just sitting there waiting while someone else is reeling in the bites. So what should you expect from a good listing agent? Transparency, data-driven pricing recommendations based on not just the recent comparable sales, but the competition that hasn't sold yet. A clear explanation of who and what you're competing against. And honesty, even if it's not the highest number in the room or what you necessarily might not want to hear, because a great agent's job isn't to flatter you with a big promise. It's to position your home so it attracts buyers, sparks offers, and ultimately sells for the best possible price and terms. Look, I get it. The oldest trick in the book is tempting. We all want to believe our home is worth so much more than our neighbors. But if the number isn't backed by market data, you're setting yourself up for unnecessary stress and disappointment, especially in today's market. So when you're interviewing agents, ask the tough questions. Where is this number coming from? What comps are you basing this on? How does this strategy actually get me sold, not just listed? My personal favorite, by the way, is when an agent tells a seller, oh, I have a buyer who will pay X for your home right now if you list with me. So here's a tip to fish that one out. Let them put their money where their mouth is and have that agent sign a one-party compensation agreement to bring that buyer in to see your home and produce that offer. If they really do have a buyer that will overpay for your home, then you can work something out with that agent to sell it before it even goes on the market, avoid showings and the hassle of putting it on the market, and negotiate a lower commission with them because they didn't have to market it at all. Win-win, right? But if they don't, then they were blowing smoke, and you now know you can't trust that agent. At the end of the day, it's not about the flashiest promise. It's about the smartest plan. I'm Oriana Shea. If you've got questions and need some help, scan the QR code. I'd love to talk to you. Bye for now.